Hi, so I think it's working. I'm live. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. So we're gonna wait a couple of minutes, and we're going to talk today about how to make your buckle carrier better, in general better. How to get a better fit, how to get more comfort. And how to just make sure that your baby's got visibility and clear airway. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to try different tricks. So let me just put my light on properly. Yeah, I think that's better. It's a bit dark in here today. Weather isn't great today. It's a shame. Okay, so let's get chatting. So I'm going to go over different type of carriers. I'm going to talk about carriers where you can cross straps and one where you have rucksack style straps or 8 straps. And then we're going to also look at the ones that need a newborn insert for small babies and the ones that are fully adaptable. Okay, so the first thing to remember before you go off and buy a carrier is to remember that they don't always all fit everybody the same, okay? So that's why it's very important to try before you buy, and that's why we are here as Sling Libraries, yes. So you can come and try a few and get expert advice for what would work better for you. So please go to your Sling Library. If you don't have a Sling Library available, you can hire some online, or worst come to worst, you can go and try some in the baby shop, but you won't have usually a lot of choices. And do be aware that people in baby shops are here to sell you something that is very expensive. So yeah, so just bear all of that in mind. But just please, if you can, try a carry-on and see how it fits, see what kind of comfort you get with it, and whether it fits you, and if you have a partner or nanny or granny who's also carrying, check how that fits them, because they don't all fit the same, okay? So let's start to talk about waist belts. So on carriers you have a waist belt. So it's that bit at the bottom, yes, that will support your baby and help carry the weight around your waist. So it is called a waist belt because it has to be on your waist, not on your hips. Okay, so the clue is in the name. Put it on your waist and then make sure your baby's close enough to kiss. So for very small babies, we might have to have the waist belt quite high up, sometimes even here, depending on how tall you are. If you're very tall, you might have to have it quite high up, so don't hesitate to have it quite high up. If you're small person, sometimes you might have to have it a bit lower down. So even though we want to try to avoid hips, it might have to be a bit lower down. So just make sure that you place your waist belt on your body at a height that will allow your baby to be in view at all times and close enough to kiss. So roughly here. Okay, so I'm going to put mine on my waist, and so I've got an Ergo Omni here. This one has got lumbar support. Not all carriers have lumbar support, but if you find that you're getting some lower back support, you need extra support, you can buy these ones. I think the one from Tula, you can just slide it in and out, so that works for most carriers, so you can try this. Okay, so the first thing I need to make sure is that this is not happening. So my waist belt has got to be straight and parallel to the floor. So if I'm going down at an angle like this, what it's going to do is just put more pressure on my back, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. So make sure it is nice and straight, parallel to the floor, and it is snug. Not so tight that you can't breathe, but snug that will help you support the weight of your baby. Okay, so that's for waist belts. Now, if you have quite a bulky carrier like the Omni, you might notice the seat is really deep. So you've got quite like a deep bucket like that. I'm just going to lower my webcam here on Facebook. Hold on 1 second, thank you. So you need to make sure your baby sits very deep into this seat, otherwise your baby will be just way too high up. So when you bring your baby in, so I'll show you one way to put it on. That can really help adjusting the fit. So sit your baby deep into the seat like that, into the bucket. just let your baby's bum drop, and then you bring the panel across the rest of the body like this, and then you have a really nice fit like that. So you can see my baby sitting deep into the seat, the bum is lower than the knees, and then I finish putting on like this, and I just tighten my straps. I'll just talk about tightening straps in a minute. I'm just doing this quickly to talk about waist belts. So baby's deep into the seat, bum lower than the knees. That promotes healthy hip development, but also it means that it's the bum that's taking the weight mainly, compared to having the knees too low down and baby being too high up. Now you can see the height is really good like that, so my baby's close enough to kiss and I can see airways and I can interact. If you find it's a bit low down, just very simple, bring it higher up, retighten if you need to, and you're good to go. Alright, so that is waist belt positioning. Now let's talk about straps a little bit. So I've got my straps on, that 8 straps or rucksack style. You can see I've got quite a lot of padding on the Omni. Alright, so something to bear in mind before you buy anything is, how do you feel about the padding? Some people totally freak out about padding. They feel like they're wearing massive shoulder pads. We're back in the 80s, doesn't feel comfortable, it's in, you feel the vision, it's annoying. It's okay to not like it. Ergos are really awesome, but some people don't like this, okay? So you might want to go instead for a Beko. So the Bekos, Gemini, the Beko Pro, Beko 8 and so on have quite wide and flatter straps, and some people prefer that. Also it means that it spreads out the weight a little bit more. Or you could go for something like an Izmi or a Zen Sling, where you can spread out the weight, so you just fan it out with your strap and you don't have a lot of padding, just like that. What you like, totally personal. That's why there's so many different ones. So I've got my straps on straight. First thing you need to make sure is that your chest strap here is between your shoulder blades. So adjust it before you put it on, or get somebody to adjust it. If you're going to be switching between people using the carrier, you need to make sure you slide it up or down. So you can just slide it up or down around the webbing. It's, for most people, it's better to have them a little bit snug and then lift these straps a little bit looser, okay? So that will help keep your carriers nice, sitting on your shoulders instead of having it too wide. So just make sure your chest strap is nice and snug, and tighten as much as you need. Tightening straps. So for straight straps, what you can do is you're going to feed it back like this, and then go forward and then pull down, and then bring the strap to the buckle and retighten. This stops it from riding too high up into your armpit. Also, if you are a breastfeeding mama, sometimes the straps can be too high up, so doing that can help. So you just lift and then feed it forward. If you haven't already clipped it, you can then clip it and then you retighten. So you can just do like this, just a small movement. It can make quite a big difference. So it's quite important to take your time to tighten the straps in a way that is not going to be annoying, and I don't feel it, they're not riding up my armpit, so it's quite nice like this. It's a lot more comfortable. Make sure that your baby is well supported. So slings, carriers have got to be tight. There's no way around this. You have got to make it tight enough to support your baby. Yeah, especially with newborns, they don't have a lot of neck control, so it's very important to just make sure this is nice and snug. You don't want to over tighten either. So it's about finding that sweet spot where it's supportive, but it's just not too tight, uncomfortable, or too loose that you feel like you need to hold your baby's head. Okay, so you should feel like your hands free and your baby's well supported, just like you would in arms, giving you a nice little cuddle, not too tight, not too loose either. With some carriers like the Ergos, the tightening line is across the back. So if I tighten too much, I'm going to show you, I'm going to over tighten it. what's gonna happen. Obviously this baby just doesn't mind. You see, I've got like a bit of a dip here around the back. That is too tight, definitely. Okay, so my baby's feeling really pressed against me. My baby's probably gonna cry, so I'm gonna loosen, and you can see that as I do it, just very ever so slightly, and then my baby's back is rounded again. Especially for very small babies, we need to respect the curvature of the spine. So they've got C-shaped spine when they're very little, until they can start holding their head and sitting up, and then the spine is like more like an S shape. So we need to support this as much as we can. So not too tight, not too loose. One way to know if it's tight enough, you're gonna hold your baby's head and you're gonna lean forward. So here you can see, nice and snug. I can just about fit my hand between me and my baby, and my baby's body isn't coming away too much from me without being too tight. All right, so try, go loads of time. Your baby's here, tighten a bit more, see if that works. If it's too tight, loosen. You'll find that sweet spot, and then you'll know exactly where you're going. Okay, so we're going to talk about cross straps now. So I'm going to take this off. So the way I loosen, lift, full baby, and then I clip like that. So that is for straight straps. I'm going to show you how I tighten cross straps, because it's a little bit different, and again you need to find a nice spot. So I'm going to grab a better Gemini for that one. I'm going to put it on. So with this carrier, it's all flat across the back. So I'm going to show you how to let baby's bum drop over, and I'll show you with the Chilla Free to Grow as well, because it's quite light fabric. So again, I'm going to bring my carrier on my waist here, and I'm going to clip around baby. So I'm going to leave the straps loose. Make sure you don't step on them, be very careful. They can break, and it's very annoying when that happens. So bring baby on your chest, and then I'm going to let baby drop deep into the seat like this. Bring the panel to the nape of the neck, roughly here, and then you can see what's happening. So let me just move the straps out of the way. My baby's bum is going over the waist belt, okay, and that's good. That's what you want for the height of your baby, just to make sure that he's well supported and the panel isn't too high. So I'm going to cross, and I'm going to show you what I mean with that. So I'm going to grab a strap, support baby, flip over my shoulder, feed it back, support my baby with the other hand. And then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab the strap. So don't do crazy movements like this unless you fancy having a stretch. You're going to grab your strap and you're going to pull down and then across. Don't go straight into your neck. This is what's going to cause you neck and upper shoulder pain. So you just go straight over your shoulder, pull down, pull you across your back, and you're going to turn around, and then you're going to bring it here, clip, and retighten. I'm going to show you how to retighten as well. So same on the other side, straight down. I'm going to pull down, across, and clip, and retighten. So you can see my cross. I don't want it here. I want it here, and you can even keep pulling down, lower down, so it gives you more support, and you have zero pressure here. Okay, so try playing around with your straps when they cross like that until you get sweet spot. Again, don't have them too off your shoulder, but you're sitting nicely on top of your shoulder, but not too close to your neck. So take your time to adjust all of that. So tightening. I'm going to loosen a bit to show you how I tighten cross straps. So what you can do is also just put it on without crossing and clipping around your baby. So here it's loose, so what I do is I pull up and I bring the slack down, forward, and I retighten. So similar to the A strap, but see how low my straps are now? This stops this happening. And when you're a breastfeeding mother, if you have, especially if you have issues with block ducts or mastitis, this is not comfortable. So you can just loosen. This is happening. Lift. I just like a towel a little bit, and then bring it all the way down and retighten. And this will make a massive difference. So I'm going to do it on the other side as well. The fall is really, really lovely. Much nicer feel. Okay, so that's it for a strap, so cross strap. What I wanted to show you is with this kind of carrier. The reason why I bring the bum as much over the waist belt is so I can stop doing this. So I have my baby in, and I sit them down straight like that, and I just bring the panel across. This is what's going to happen. Can you see my baby? No. It was a little bit compromised here. It's just not great airflow. So this is why when I bring my baby in, I just let the bum drop over the waist belt as much as possible, so that the panel arrives right under the earlobe and the airways are a lot clearer. Now I just retighten. So really take your time. Positioning is super, super important. Again, pay attention to the knees. Knees higher than the bum, always like that, so that it is the bum that's taking the weight, and it's a lot easier for them to support the rest of their body when you do that. And then you retighten. So that makes a massive difference. And that works also for a strap. So if you end up having your baby too straight, the panel will be just too high, and then you can't see the face, and then you're going to come and see us and you're going to say, oh, it's too big for my baby. No, it's not, don't worry. Just position. You can save your baby. There you go. Save your baby, save your carrier. Alright, I'm going to demo with the free to grow as well to show you what I mean by sitting deep down over the waist belt. And then we'll talk a little bit about inserts. So the free to grow, similar to the back weight. Got very, very soft, loose fabric, and it's really, really lovely. But for small babies, you need to really pay attention to your positioning. So we're going to do the same thing on your waist. So with the elastic band, lots of carriers have got this little elastic band here. It's for safety, so bring it through so that if the buckle becomes broken or something, it will keep it safe. You're going to hold, and then you're going to pull that way. And then here I'm going to loosen my straps a bit. So again, with the free to grow, you might find it just digs a bit here. So we're going to do the feeding back. So I'm going to leave it nice and loose, like this. Maybe that's a bit too loose. I got a bit over enthusiastic. I'm going to pre-clip my chest strap and tighten. And I'm going to bring my baby in. And then you lower your baby down and let them sit deep into the seat. So I'm going to just move the hood out of the way. So as you can see, I'm just going way down like that. Let your baby's bum drop, and then you bring the panel under the earlobe for maximum visibility. And I'm just going to tighten. So I'm going to keep my baby at that height. So keeping the panel in place helps it stop from riding up, and you can just go just like forward like this and you tighten. So here and here. Like that, take your time. Small little steps. That usually does the trick. Okay, before I forget, before we move on to inserts, sock pads, another way how to save your buckle carrier. If you have a drooly baby who likes to bite everything, sock pads are super handy. So you can bring them like that over. Some have got buttons, some have got poppers, some have got velcro, whatever. And then if your baby fancies having a little chew, then that will protect it. It means you don't have to wash it super often, wait for it to dry, and then sometimes it affects the color a little bit. So very inexpensive, you can make them yourself, super simple. It's like 2 pieces of fabric. You can put padding in it if you want. You can get fancy things. Just make sure if you make them yourself that the poppers are very safe, they won't come off and then baby swallow them. Velcro usually is a good option. Right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about inserts now. So if you have a carrier that is non-adaptable, so I'm going to demo with an Ergo 360. So now only the 360 position. So you see I've got nowhere to adapt the base, which means that for small babies I need to use an insert at the beginning. So I'm going to put it on to show you what kind of fit you want to look for. So because you've got this quite thick insert with a cushion at the bottom, means that your baby will be higher up, okay? So again, just let your baby's bum drop over the waist belt as much as you can. You might mean that if you're not very tall like me, you can't really have it straight onto your waist. You might have to have it a little bit lower down onto your hips, okay? Just make sure it's comfortable. With the 360, you've got lower back support, so usually it's quite comfortable anyway. But always make sure your baby's close enough to kiss and you can see them. So I'm just going to very quickly clip my insert in. Like this. Okay, so lot of poppers. Right, we're good to go. I'm going to loosen my straps. So you can see the buckles are towards the back with this one. So do make sure, like with the tulers, that you can reach here, because if you can't, it's going to make your life a little bit more complicated. I will say go for a carrier that's got buckles at the front, because it's a bit easier to work with, especially if you have mobility issues. Okay, so here I'm going to just let this drop down, actually tighten this a bit. I'm going to bring my baby in. Let your baby, so I'm going to do this very loosely, so you can see, let your baby sit onto the insert like this, and then bring the panel to the neck like this. So again, I'm going to support in this position, and then I'm going to feed everything forward like this. Alright, and make sure you can see your baby is very important. So in terms of the legs, so with very small babies, at the beginning when they're newborn, they're going to sit like that. Make sure the feet don't go into the waist belt or pushing against. So they probably will be like that for very, very tiny babies. As they get bigger, the legs will start coming out. Again, make sure it's not pushing like this, okay, because that's not super comfortable. Also means that the positioning is a little bit compromised like this. So and then just let the legs out. Once they're here and they can fit the base, then you can remove the cushion. What you might have to do sometimes, it removes this, is to remove the outer part and then keep the cushion at the bottom. So I'm going to show you here again. What you could do is you remove the big part of it, the main part of it, and you might have to keep the cushion in so that until they fit the base. So put this little cushion like this, you can just put it right at the bottom like so, until your baby can fit the complete width. So weights sometimes mean absolutely nothing, so you just have to see when your baby can fit. I know, I think Ergo says 5 kilos. My second was born at 4.6 kilos. At 2 weeks he was probably 5 kilos. There's no way he could fit this. It took some months before he could fit it. So you have to see really. So you see like this. So until your baby can fit the complete width without spreading the hips apart. So see, this baby's not quite ready, but I'm just demoing because here the legs are too straight. You will need to use this. If you have a carrier and you have a baby that is quite small but the carrier is quite bulky, or the panel is very tall, and even if you're doing the tricks by bringing the panel over the waist belt, you might have to use a little cushion insert at the beginning. Sometimes you can fold the muslin cloth. It's really worth going to see somebody to talk about this, just to check that everything is positioned right. So with it on me, I really like it, but because the seat is quite deep. Sometimes with small babies it just doesn't work, it's just too deep. Even if we have the seat over the waist belt like this, the panel is still too tall, even with the waist belt high on the parent. So sometimes we just use this to boost it up. And sometimes the leg opening of the baby is just too small, so they can't really open the hips completely, especially when they're very, very new. So it's really important to respect your baby's positioning. So when they're very tiny, let me get smaller baby. I just store babies away. So when they're very tiny, so this is like a 1 month old roughly, they won't be able to do that and sit to fit the base of the carrier. So you might find that you still need to use the cushion, even if it's not included with the carrier because it's an adaptable. You might have to do that. Okay, it might just be for a few weeks, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't make it hotter, it just means that you might have to do that so that your baby doesn't spread the hips. Also, if they're quite small, so they're not very tall, the panel might be just too high up. So just see how it works. Adjustments are possible as long as you're not compromising safety. You're good to go. Okay, so I think I've talked about pretty much everything. If you're not sure and if you're still not getting a good fit, then get in touch, send me some pictures or go see your nearest sling librarian. Sometimes it is that just the carrier doesn't fit you with your body shape, so we could do lots of adjustments, but sometimes it just doesn't work. If you have the option of crossing straps, try straight and then try crossed, and then see if that makes a difference, and see what works. Okay, any questions? I'll be here for a couple more minutes. And if you're watching this on replay, you can put questions in the comments, or you can just send me a message and I'll be able to help you. Okay, right. I don't think I have any questions coming. Good, means I've probably just said everything I had to say. Okay, thank you for joining. It was very nice chatting, and get in touch if you need anything. See you soon. Bye.